Cinema. Welcome back to War with Cinema. I'm your host, Greg, a local metalhead, and with me is...
Par the Collector. What's up, everybody?
And you decided to do...
This is, I think the worst thing about this movie is just how long the title is, but we're going to get through it.
Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead.
Yes.
Based off of the song.
I didn't know it was a song.
Yeah.
John Denver? I'm just kidding. I'm sure it wasn't a John Denver song.
Warren Zevon.
Zavon. Yeah, man. This has a all-star cast, man.
Yeah. Anthony Garcia, Christopher Walken, Christopher Lloyd, William
Forsythe.
Bill Nunn. Like, it goes on. Or Steve Buscemi, you can't leave him out.
No,
and then
never.
Her debut film.
Vicky Valancourt.
Well, I was going to say Fairuza Balk. I can't ever say her fucking name, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The one that played is a love interest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not his love interest. The
Vicky Valancourt, yeah. That's her, right?
I'm talking about the drug addict girl.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. That's Vicky Valancourt from Waterboy.
Oh, is that her name? How am I supposed to fucking remember
it's
that?
It's easier
shit?
to say that.
You could have just said Waterboy.
Oh, my bad. I figured you knew who Vicky Valancourt was.
I don't know her name like that.
Oh, my God, dude.
But
everybody knows Vicky Valancourt.
Yeah, sorry.
I love that fucking movie.
This is great.
Vicky Valancourt, what you doing here?
So, before we get into this, this movie did not do so well. We'll get into the box office just so I can...
Yeah, I figured the budget, I just see it now, but I would have guessed way higher.
Right.
Just because of the cast, you know?
So we just did Death to Smoochie, The Cable Guy, both $50 million.
Budgets, yeah.
This $7-8 million?
Yeah, man. A lot of these guys, I'm guessing they did it for cost just because
right.
They wanted to do it.
I was super surprised when I saw that. But yeah, you can see gross worldwide 529,000.
That's tough.
Didn't even hit $1 million.
It's such a good movie though. I just don't understand it. In 95,
critics hated this movie. They drug this movie through the fucking mud.
Did they?
So because of that, nobody went and saw it.
Right.
But when it hit, video, huge cult following. That's what I was going to say.
Am I the cult following on this
There
one?
is a huge cult following for this movie. And right off rip, I liked this movie. I did not love this movie.
I really thought my dad's the one that showed me this movie. And I thought me, him, and 4 other people were the only people that knew about it.
Well, Mick, he's huge into these kind of movies, so he's another big fan too, because he's mentioned this for me to watch this one.
Right.
So I was going to say that because I like this movie, but I am going to talk about some things that I don't like about it, so don't fucking come after me with pitchforks.
No, but I mean, it's not a perfect movie, but I love it as a gangster movie.
More so not you, more so the fan base of this movie, because people that are cult followers of movies like this, they get fucking mad when you say some things about their favorite movie that you don't like.
Right.
So I just wanted to say I did like this movie, but I did have some problems with it.
All right.
So what do you want to get into first? You want to talk about what I liked about this movie?
All right. First of all, this movie has to go down in history as the greatest fucking movie with nicknames ever. I feel like Part of the Collector, I need to step up my game. You got Jimmy the Saint. You got Pieces. You got Easy Wind.
Critical Bill.
Franchise, baby. Are you kidding me? The Man with the Plan, dude.
Yeah.
So many. He even calls the guy that runs the fucking shake shop. They call him Maltz.
Yep.
That's a fucking cool ass nickname, man. Everybody has a dope ass nickname in this movie. And I had to get that out there first and foremost, because I think I'm gonna bring back the different nickname at the beginning of the episodes, like I used to do.
Yeah.
It would be Part of the Collector, aka, or Greg, aka.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go back into that because this movie's given me a lot of inspiration on that.
That is, since you're talking about the one thing I did really like about this movie, this is the writer's debut movie that got picked up and made. Great characters.
Yeah.
He can write a fucking character.
He really can.
He knows how to write characters.
The first 30 minutes of this movie are just fucking we're setting everybody up. Man, I love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You get to introduce to the crew.
Agreed.
I love that shit. Well, Andy Garcia's character is Jimmy the Saint, and he's a older mobster from Flatbush. Jimmy the Saint from Flatbush.
But he got out of the game, and now he's trying to run a legitimate business.
Yeah, he's out in Denver just kind of doing his own thing. And now it's kind of I would think this would be a mainstream idea, but back then it was kind of taboo, I'm sure, but he would let people that were dying, he would offer them services that they could record videos to their later, grandkids, kids, generations. So they would always have their wisdom. It's a good idea. I think. I think people should do it.
I think it's like the internet now because you have social media. You can go back and like look at people's life, basically.
Right, but I just meant like as far as like
you're talking about like a personal greeting for everyone.
Well, no, not even that. Just like if if you wanted to hear about your grandfather's life story or your great grandfather's life story, say they died when you were young and you don't really remember them well. If you had a video that just was them, explaining who they were,
in their own words, I guess you could say.
I think that would be awesome. Like if I got to do, because when my grandfather died, my daughter was like 3.
Yeah.
So I mean, she doesn't really remember him like that.
Yeah, same. My grandfather, my dad's dad, died before I was born or like right after I was born, and I don't know him very well, but it would have been nice to have something like that to kind of watch and be like, oh, that's who I came from.
And that's what I'm saying. My grandfather had a great life and a very went on a lot of adventures and did a lot of crazy things. Like I think my kids would have loved that if I could have got that done.
Yeah.
Obviously that would take some time, and you'd have to record it all and everything. But yeah, I think it was a good idea.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. So that's what he's doing. But
it's not a very big business because, like I said, is at the time, people were doing it.
Right. And he's kind of going under anyway. That's why where this whole movie comes in is someone buys the notes to his business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the man with the plan.
New Orleans Sal.
Mm-hmm.
They bought out the note from New Orleans Sal.
So one thing that I did really appreciate about this movie is the slang, the lingo.
Oh, yeah.
He took it from bikers and Vietnam vets and some other thing, I think, and then kind of meshed it. Oh, he made up his own slang and kind of like made a melding pot of slang.
So say there's a lot of prison terms in this movie because all these guys have done like for real time,
Yep. So I thought that was pretty cool. There is the old man kind of like narrating
I like that.
The story. As I was watching it, I was like, oh, it's pretty cool because I didn't know what that meant. And he's telling you. But at the same time, I was thinking about Brick. Brick kind of has its own lingo.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really have anyone explaining to you. You kind of have to put the pieces together yourself.
Probably why Brick sucked.
No, Brick is amazing. Watch your fucking mouth. And I think I would have liked it a little bit more if I didn't have him explaining if I kind of like tried to figure it out myself.
I mean, I liked it because, like I said, the way he would bring characters in, like they called him Critical Bill because everybody that fucked with him ended up in critical.
See, I didn't mind those, but he like breaks down the lingo too, like buckwheats.
Yeah,
he's like buckwheat just means.
Well, I would like that though. Like I would have never I would never put that.
Yeah,
together.
but he could have showed it. Like you could have shown it. What it
still
meant.
Doesn't really even explain it. Like why buckwheat? I got all the little rascals wide buckwheat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When they first said it, I was like, buckwheat. I'm like, is it just the lowest? I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know, but like,
yeah,
little shit like that. But anyway, so he gets summoned to see the boss, who is Christopher Walken, and they call him the man with the plan.
And he's a quadriplegic.
He's a quadriplegic, yes. He's paralyzed from the neck down. And
blows into a little tube to get around in his little wheelchair.
He got shot, and that's the thing. He didn't die, so he's still the boss, and it's kind of crazy. Like I never really the where they place this movie is weird because you never would think of Denver having a mob boss,
right?
You know what I mean? And like I've never seen a picture of what Denver looks like nowadays, but I imagine in like downtown Denver and shit is just like a bunch of fucking skyscrapers and everything, like most major cities. But like in this movie, it looks like there's 4 skyscrapers, and then the rest of Denver is just like a ski resort,
right,
like a small town type deal. But yeah,
it's not one of those towns you think about when you're thinking about mob,
right? But Christopher Walken fucking kills this part,
dude.
Like this is one of my favorite Walken roles.
I'll get to it later, but there was a moment in this movie where I had to pause the movie and walk away because I could not stop laughing, and I was screaming it throughout the house. He's
great, dude.
He's amazing in this movie.
His fucking one-liners, dude. All of it, dude. So, anyways,
Andy Garcia, like real quick,
mm,
how do you like Andy Garcia?
I'm not a huge fan of Andy Garcia, and I feel like he made this like he played the exact same role that he did in Godfather 3
and Ocean's 11.
Ah,
Because anytime I think of Andy Garcia, I think of Ocean's 11.
Right.
I love him in that movie. Like
He
it's
is a
such
good bad
I don't want to say small part, but it's such a good part.
I like him in Smoking Aces too.
Oh yeah,
He
I
plays
remember him in that.
plays like the head FBI agent.
Mm.
He's good in that one.
I don't want to take anything away from him because I think he was really good in this movie. I think he really, really did the part justice. But you know who I kept thinking about is Al Pacino.
Yeah,
I
he
could
looks
see-
like
I
a
could
young-
see
he
Al
looks
Pa-
like a young Pacino.
Yeah, I could see Al Pacino in this role, especially with the blowing up scenes and shit like that.
Mhm.
But anyway,
But yeah, I felt like he did a lot of this, like Vincent Capone or Vincent Corleone, and this
yeah,
a lot of his mannerisms. I love the thing he does with his hands. Like that's just so smooth. Like he's like they're dirty, but he doesn't want them to be dirty.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like just a very cool mannerism he had
Right.
to that character.
that's
I
the thing
really
is
like.
he does play such a cool guy in movies.
Right. And well, I think the funniest thing about him, and it's not just this, but like most of his movies, like if he's trying to play like an Italian,
Hmm.
you can never really tell he's Spanish until he yells. And then he's fighting the fuck out of like letting you hear that Spanish like
Yeah,
accent.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, tell me again. And I'm like, I don't think he wanted to say it like that. Like tell me again. Instead, it's like, tell me again. You know?
Yeah.
I noticed it a couple of times when he starts yelling. But he
Mm.
does it in Godfather 3 too.
I didn't notice it, but maybe if you pointed it out, I probably would notice it.
But yeah, he does a good job of steering the ship in this movie. He's a good main protagonist. I like
I
him.
agree.
But anyways, Christopher Walken calls for him, and they go to his mansion, and it's like this ridiculously fucking big mansion, you know. And they got all these bodyguards and shit, and it's because somebody tried to take him out, you know, back in the day, and it didn't work. Like I said, they shot him, but they didn't kill him.
Right.
So now the even franchise mentions it later on in the movies. Like, ever since he got shot, he's got more security. Then it'd be easier to kill the fucking president. Like,
Yeah.
because that's like how many people this man's got.
Hmm.
So he starts off in the shadows, all fucking.
Well, we didn't talk about the beginning of the movie. The opening
Oh, yeah.
scene is there is this guy on the outside of a chain link fence looking at these little girls, and then just fucking hops the fence
Yeah,
to go get itty bitty titty.
yeah. He fucking grabs
That
this
was
little
a-
girl and then gets tackled by like 3 teachers and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Gets arrested and whatnot.
So he's slow, right?
Yes.
Okay, because there's some scenes where you're like not sure. He seems like he knows.
He knows enough that he knows what he's doing, but like, yes, he is like a little slow.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure but that was a really weird scene. I'm like, okay, I guess this is how we're starting the movie. Fucking-
Yeah, I forgot that was the like fucking right out the gates.
Oh yeah, it's like credits and then fucking itty
Yeah.
bitty titty grab.
But yeah, so Christopher Walken pretty much rolls down the ramp to his mansion,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "What do you want from me?" And he said, "You might have heard about my fucking retarded, stupid fucking son." You know, hops the fence and starts grabbing on a little girl. You know,
Well, that's
stuff
what you
like
say.
that.
He's trying to get itty bitty titty.
He goes, "It's a fucking nightmare." He's like, "I had to spend a lot of money, you know, to get that shit fucking swept under the rug." He goes, he had a girl.
You remember so and so? I forgot her name.
Well, he keeps talking about his wife,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "You remember my wife?" And he goes, "She was a lovely woman, you know, a very sweet woman." And he's like, "I'm glad she never had to see me like this, you know, because I'm guessing she died before he got shot."
Right.
He goes, "My son was normal back then. You know," he goes, "He had this girl. They dated all through high school, all through college.
7 years.
7 years they dated." She goes, "She was really good for him." He goes, "I like that." He goes, "I want her to get back with my son, so maybe I could salvage what little bit of my fucking legacy I have left."
Yeah, so he wants him to go and rough up her fiance. So he will leave town, leave her alone so she can somehow want to get back with the son.
I forget the name of the guy, but he was also in Four Brothers. He played the bad guy cop. Like, he
really?
plays an asshole in everything.
He looks like an asshole.
Right. And I was just remembering, like, man, this guy, even back in 95, was still getting cast as like, hey, we need an asshole. Like, no, somebody that really makes you want to fucking hit him.
Whenever, like, I know I'm jumping ahead, but whenever he gets stabbed, I was like, I probably would have stabbed him too.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
Well, they were all dumb as fuck.
Yeah, they were idiot. Okay, so first problem I have with the movie, I think the setup is really weak.
Weak?
Weak. Yeah, this like go rough up this guy so this girl would want to be with his son.
Well,
I don't know.
The motivation. He told him.
Yeah,
that's what he told him. He's like, it's not a piece of work.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, it's just some action.
Yeah.
Which, and I think that's why he gave it to Jimmy the Saint, because Jimmy always came through.
I'm not saying
he kept his words. I think that's why he thought that it would work.
I'm talking about the movie.
Right.
I'm talking about the writing of the movie.
Well, I'm saying I'm explaining why I think that's why he went with that plan instead of just having him killed.
Oh, okay.
Because if he'd have fucking killed him, then she would have got scared and never came back. She wasn't supposed to be with him. It was supposed to be him going back to Denver to ask her parents to marry him.
No, I understand all that. I'm just saying, when you're in the middle of writing a movie and you're like, how can I get this written? Because it's about the whole movie. The reason he wanted to write it is because his dad died from cancer, but he was thinking about how his dad was going through life while he knew he was going to die. And that's kind of Jimmy the Saint. He's going through life knowing he's going to die. That's the whole like basis of the movie.
Right.
So he needs to get him to this point where he's being hunted and he knows he's going to die. But getting to that point, I think this setup is kind of weak. I think they could have done something different other than just roughing up a guy.
I mean, yeah, it probably could have been done cooler,
Yeah.
I would say. But I mean, I think it does its job. And
You don't mind it?
I mean, like I said,
I think it was just a weird plot device is all I was
it's
saying.
one of those things in a movie. It's like when I watch Casino,
Mhm.
and it's like, all you had to do was not get with this gold digging whore, and you'd still be running shit, right?
Right.
And it's just like, it bothers me because I know what happens. I know why they do it, because we're human beings and we do dumb shit. Like,
Right.
so I get that, but I get what you also say by it's frustrating
Mhm.
because it's like so many different points in this movie where I'm just like, y'all could get away. Like, you could not let this happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I get out of it more
Mhm.
than anything. It's not that I'm mad that that's what they used. It's just like, it makes it almost, it pisses you off because you're just like, oh, this is stupid. Like, you didn't have
Yeah,
to,
you are
didn't have to go like this.
Right. I kept thinking about the things that happened and I was like, God, like, why did you let it get this far? Like, it did frustrate me. I kept thinking back on it. I was like, it could have went by. You just had to rough a dude up.
Right.
Not that
that's
difficult.
What I'm saying. And I think that's the point of it. That's why
Yeah.
it was done like that, because it's supposed to be like, it was so simple. Like, how did y'all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
So Christopher Walken, the man with the plan, asked Jimmy. He says, hey, like I said, it's not a piece of work. I don't need you to clip him. This
Mhm.
bitch is going to get scared. She ain't going to come back.
Yeah, he's like, I need a crew. He's like, why do you need a crew? He's like, just more people, easier job kind of thing. He's like, well, I'm going to give you $50,000. You can split it however you want to.
Yes,
You can
you
give them nothing or you can give them charity.
So he said, you want to give these mutts some scratch? He goes, that's why they call you the Saint.
Yeah.
But he's like, I don't got a shit to do with it. And
So this is where he rounds up his crew, which I really like this part.
it's really cool how they set that up.
Mhm.
They meet Christopher Lloyd's character, which is, he's probably the one that hurts your heart the most. You know
Oh,
what I
100%.
mean?
He is the heart of this movie.
Well,
He's the
him
one.
him and franchise, I feel like.
You think franchise?
Because of the kids.
I guess.
You
But
know,
he could have fucking got away. Franchise
I
had
mean,
every.
he probably would have had a better chance if he didn't have a family. Kids and wife slow you down, bro. And like, that was his biggest
No, he
thing.
was like waiting around. Like, he could have. Well, we'll get to it later but
Right.
he could have fucking got away. Like, but
I
he
think
was
he would have had the
tiptoeing.
hardest out of all of them.
I don't know. Well, you see what happened to him. But yes, Christopher Lloyd, whenever that one, I was like, that's the one that was the heart of this movie for me.
So his name is Holden, but they call him Pieces
Mm-hmm.
because he has leprosy.
Yeah.
And I guess in the 90s, they still hadn't figured out leprosy like that. So
I guess not. So
franchise, first he goes to franchise, who's married, has kids. They've all done time like together and stuff.
But this one was hard for me because he's like, I got a good thing going. I got a business. I got free rent. I got a family. Like, it's just showing you how he has his shit together. He's out of the fucking mob life, and you're just gonna drag him back in for a little job.
And I think that's what killed Jimmy the most. That scene where his wife's looking at him when she's getting into the car. It's just like, holy fuck, man.
She's like, why are you doing this to my family?
You just ruined this guy's fucking life again.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, but yeah, so he's like, first thing Franchise says is like, what's up, pieces? He's like, what kind of a fucking name is that? He goes, my name is fucking Holden. He's like, the other day I lost a fucking toe. It just fucking fell off.
Right.
I go to this new fucking, and I love how they call doctors croakers. Because like they're already dead, so like it doesn't even matter. Like
Right.
he's just like, yeah, fucking croaker tells me it's a circulatory problem. Circulatory fucking problem.
Yeah, because he has like missing fingers and stuff.
Yeah, and like a couple of them that he still got are fucked up, like they're about to fall off.
I know, because they do the thing. Do you know where that comes from?
Yeah, from the prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're saying hello and goodbye, you put your hand to the glass and it's your bonding.
Which I thought that was kind of cool.
That is cool. I liked it.
And like it made their handshake just dope as shit too, because they wouldn't even say anything. It would just be like, they'd be like, all right, bro, I'll talk to you.
Well,
And
that's
they
what
would do
Pieces did. He's like, really? Because he holds his hand up and Franchise does not want to do it.
But he does.
Yeah, he does.
Because he knows he's a brother, but like he just, because like they didn't know. Like it was like AIDS and shit, which they really throw around a lot, like how much like AIDS knowledge was not known.
Yeah.
Like, the way they thought it. Because when the man with the plan brings Jimmy out there, he's like, hey, you got a business giving all the fags and dying people a way to, piss on their legacy or some shit like that. And he's like, you hang out with the disease with the disease people. He just keeps like a lot of
they hammer in the gay thing a lot.
A lot of homophobic.
It's almost a homophobic film, as much as they tear down the gays.
In a couple scenes for sure.
Yeah.
But it just kind of lets you like into like what kind of motherfucker the man with the plan is in this movie.
Oh, he's
like,
a piece of shit.
Just because he's fucking in a wheelchair, he's like so fucking ruthless. Like,
yeah, you don't care about this motherfucker at all. He has no redeeming qualities, which is fine with me.
Right. That's why I said he's like one of the best movie villains ever.
Yeah.
So anyways, they get Christopher Lloyd rubbed in. He's like, look, I got 10 grand for you. You get you a good doctor. He's like, good. He's like, maybe I can get me a new croaker and they figure something out before my dick falls off.
Right.
And then that's when he has the awkward goodbye with,
Franchise.
with Franchise.
And then they go to Easy Wind. Well,
he's the last one. They go to Bill. They go to Bill next.
Oh, did they go to Bill next?
And this crazy motherfucker, dude, is beating the shit out of a fucking corpse.
Yeah.
That he's got hung in the basement.
Because he's a mortician.
Right.
So he uses the dead bodies as
a
fucking
heavy
bag.
bag, dude.
I mean, it makes sense. I was like, it's kind of fucked up, but it makes sense.
He's like, he don't mind too much. He's in there. You can hear shit breaking as he's fucking wailing on this.
He's like, I knew this guy when he was alive. He kind of deserves it.
He wouldn't have mind much.
Yeah.
He goes, well, what about the owner? He don't mind much. What's up, Bill? You still fucking crazy? Oh, man, I changed all that.
I think Critical Bill is probably my favorite character in this movie. I love Critical Bill.
He's such a dumb fuck.
He is a dumb fuck, but he is a fucking time bomb. He's out of his mind. I love those out of your mind characters.
He's like, we don't need Critical Bill. He's like, we just need Bill on this job. Yeah. He's like, it's not that fucking serious. Then he's like, all right, man, I'm in. I need the action, So then they're all meeting together at the
that's when
shop.
Easy Win comes in, because I know him and Easy Win got into it.
And he was like, who's the last member? He's like, there he is right there, and that's when you see Bill Nunn, who is a big dude. He plays Easy Win, and then he sees Critical Bill, and they just start fucking going at it.
Just because he ate a little bit of shit in jail, like.
But he was fucking dudes, like, left and right. Like, raping dudes left and right. Like,
you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
I mean, whatever, but so apparently.
Judge me if I eat a little bit of shit.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. I mean, I got a kiss you or nothing, so it's not terrible, but like, I'm just like, yeah, you did
We're not sharing straws.
You did that, dude. Did that. Can I hit that? No, you can't.
I'm not.
You dirty bitch.
You gotta bring your own pipe.
Fucking Yeah. No, that's yours.
Didn't really even have a taste.
I don't want to skip around too much, but yeah.
I know. But there's so many like great parts of this movie that I can't just glide by.
So, but I also love that there's a fucking kid's birthday party going on.
Oh yeah,
behind
100%. Yeah.
And these guys are throwing around fucking
So unnecessary.
Dookie Boy and fucking all this shit, just talking about him being a fucking fecal matter freak and this and that.
Fecal freak.
Fecal freak. And he's like, "You're a fucking liar."
Give it a name. They said that a lot, and I liked it a lot. I don't know why.
So they jumped on each other again and shit.
Yeah, it just shows they
all known each other for a long time.
Right. But the thing is they go right to the job.
Yeah.
Like they get set up and everything for the job. I would have liked to have a scene of them having a bonding moment, like remembering the good times, showing you why they're so close and why they came on so easy with Jimmy the Saint.
Right.
I think that scene's kind of missing because I feel like they went along with this a little too easy for my taste.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you don't get to the job, the real part of the movie,
I guess
it has to happen after. So
well, there's scenes in this movie that I would probably cut out, and it's the romance scenes.
I was just about to say, man, I felt like that
I would
was
have
not
taken them
needed.
out.
Like the thing with the hooker was good enough.
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I mean? Like it made him like care about it, a little bit.
Right. I think that was enough. So if you take out like the love scenes with the girl, and you added a little bit more, kind of like Ocean's 11.
A little more setup.
I know they did, a little more setup with the guys.
It's not a heist movie though.
It kind of is though.
It's not.
It's not a heist movie, but it's that like camaraderie, like crime. There's a bunch of guys getting together and
right.
I don't know, kind of like
I feel like it does a better job like showing it throughout.
Heat was a good one.
Maybe not at the beginning, but by the time you get to the end of it,
you do feel for some of the characters when.
Well, it's not even that. Like in Heat, dude. I mean, other than Val Kilmer and Robert De Niro, none of those fucking guys. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't show them all that bonded as shit. Not until he fucking finds him drunk on his floor. You know, and then you get introduced to Diane Lane's character and all that. But yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, like I said, there is this love scene with Jimmy the Saint where he meets this girl and falls.
I hate her name. You want to talk about things we hate? I hate her fucking
100%,
name.
yeah.
Is it Dragney?
Yeah, Dragney.
Dragney.
And he kept saying...
Not Daphne. Dragney.
Yeah, he kept saying, he's like, it's a beautiful name. I'm like, no, it's not.
Dude, I know you want to get laid, but like, don't lie and tell this chick she has
If I feel like I have a mouthful of marbles to say her name, it's not a good name.
Sounds like I'm fucked up and I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah.
It's the right way.
Right.
Yeah. That's a red flag.
So he meets up with this girl and he like falls in love with her and he's giving her the game and she's falling for it. And it like the movie will take a moment to dip back into this relationship. And like you said, I just don't feel like it's needed. And I had a rewrite of this movie and I was like, if you're gonna put this love scene, this like romance in the movie, I think it should have been an ex-lover. Like somebody that he used to do these jobs with that was really close with him. And she might have been part of the crew. But that doesn't really work later in the movie. But
no, I like it. I don't mind it like this because it shows that it really is just terrible fucking timing, and that's what all about life is. Because he even talks about it. It's like timing's everything. Because like I think he wanted to change. He wanted to be the person that he had set out to be, but he knew that he was never going to be able to protect her. You know what I mean?
I guess my thing is I didn't believe their chemistry.
I get that a little bit.
Yeah, I just didn't
see that.
I just didn't feel it. I'm just like, I don't believe you guys really give a shit about each other.
Like I said, I don't think it would have hurt the movie if you don't have it in there.
Yeah, I think so too. Taking this out would have been.
It just gives more motivation.
Yeah, it's trying to give
Andy Garcia's character.
Yeah, and it's trying to give the movie more weight.
But I think just him trying to get his boys safe would have been enough.
I think so too.
To make you care. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and then like I said, the little bit because he cares about the hooker, like trying to get her off the street and stuff.
You could literally probably re-edit this movie, take out all the romance scenes and the ones that have to do with it, and you wouldn't notice.
It'd probably flow better.
It'd probably flow better because you're not dipping down into it.
Because like this movie's a little over 2 hours, and you take those 15 out,
right?
I think
it would flow better.
Yeah.
I think so too. But anyway, so they go on this job, and fucking Critical Bill is like, I want to be a cop. Want to be a cop?
Yeah, because that's the gig. They got a guy that's a spotter, which is Easy Wind. He's sitting in a car watching the whole thing go down, make sure everything's straight, make sure ain't nobody coming at them from a wrangle they don't see or whatever. And you got the two cops, and then then you had Andy Garcia and Franchise in a trailer.
Yeah, waiting for them to bring them, and
because they were going to give this guy like the old Sicilian warning, like, hey man, if you don't fuck off, you're going to end up in a fucking ditch.
I don't think it would have worked on him. The way he was acting with those two cops.
Yeah, but see, that's how he was doing it. But see, once you kidnap him, then all that shit goes out the window.
Yeah.
Because now these guys really don't give a fuck. Like, they're going to kill me.
Right.
So then when you have the calm, cool, collected motherfucker like Andy Garcia just explain the situation to you. Hey, man, I get it. You're scared. You want to go home. I want you to go home. And you can go home as long as you do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because, but if you deviate from that in any fucking way, like, you're not going to make it home.
But unfortunately, they don't make that far.
Well, because, like you said, he's tried to give second chances, and that's where I think that's where Bill got him. He goes, "What? You're the only one that could change, Jimmy? Like, I'm not." He's like, "I'm fucking 41 years old, and people still call me Critical Bill," and that's because he's fucking crazy as shit.
Yeah,
like,
it's because you're out of your mind. You still are. But yeah.
So he says, "Fuck it." He goes, "You let Holden do all the talking."
Yeah, you don't say a fucking word.
And all right, you can do it. So, I mean, he looks the part. He looks like an asshole cop. You know what I mean? So, right. I mean, in theory, I get maybe why he let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And, Holden's the smooth motherfucker. Like, he's the one that does the talking. So they're trying to, like, intimidate this fucking dude and get him out of the van so they can fucking grab him.
I love what he says, though. He doesn't believe them as cops. He's like, I don't like the way your suits fit.
I mean, it's true though. And he's like, I'm from LA. He goes, people impersonate cops all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, he's like, it's raining. He's like, wouldn't you have
a raincoat,
and protectors on your hats? He's like, or do you not still have time to steal them?
Yeah.
And he's like, look, yeah, it's still Christopher Lloyd's hanging tough. You know what I mean? He's like, look, man, just get out of the fucking car.
What's funny is I was like, just yank his ass out. And then Bill just reaches in and grabs his ass. I was like, there you go. That's how you do it. But even then, he still doesn't believe they're cops.
Or he fucked up when he fucking slammed him against the van. Yeah. If they just cuffed him and put him in the fucking
right.
car.
Bill just like had to.
He had to go lose his shit. Mm-hmm. And I
was like, you got him.
He was gonna listen. And this is where old boy is a fucking idiot, bro. Like, you see the look in this fucking guy's eyes. Like, he wants to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
So you just keep feeding him fucking shit, like, fucking pussy.
Yeah.
Fucking cocksucker, some shit like that.
He's a cracker or something.
Oh, that's what he calls him, a
Cracker
fucking
Jack.
Anyways, he calls him a fucking some stupid fucking cracker or something like that. Yeah. Shit kicking crackers, I think is what it is. But and he takes this. He's got a fucking butcher, like a army knife or whatever. You know what I mean, to his neck, and he's like, "Look," Christopher Lloyd's like, "Just calm the fuck down," and he won't. So he pulls a fucking gun on him, and he's like, "You pulling a fucking gun on me?" And he's like, "Yeah, bitch, I am, because you're fucking insane." So by that time, Easy Wind's fucking driving, which it looked like he was 50 feet away, but for some reason he was driving 3 miles away.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, how are you not there yet?
He's flooring it, but he's still not getting there. And so
he drops the knife on the ground, and then he says that last cracker thing, and then he like pulls one of those
tiny little blades, dude,
and just starts working his neck.
Stabs him in the fucking jugular with that bitch about 5 times.
I was like, oh shit, you guys fucked up. And then the fucking girl pops out of the van, and
and then Christopher Lloyd just fucking pops her.
That surprised me. That was a shock. I was like, I legit, like out loud, I was like, oh shit.
When I was watching this movie with my dad once, he told me, he said they would have been all right. They'd have just killed him.
Yep.
He goes, but when they fucking got her,
that's when they fucked up.
That's when it was over with.
Yes.
And sure enough, fucking Easy Wind calls it over the radio. I'm looking at fucking bodies. They're fucking kids. They're fucking dead. So they take them. And they take him to a funeral home, which is crazy because this is like a thing.
Hey, was that a thing?
Yeah,
I was going to ask you. Okay, so, you know how I've been on this like comedy trend? There were moments in this movie. I was like, this is kind of a comedy. Like, there are some funny moments in this movie.
There is some funny shit.
When they try to pick up that casket, the pallbearers, and then they almost drop it because it's so heavy. I was like, that was kind of funny.
Because there's 3 fucking bodies.
Right. But yeah, that was a thing. Did they really
back in the day, like
bottom out caskets?
Mm-hmm. Well, usually it's for like one person.
Yeah. Well,
but it was, it was for somebody that like couldn't you couldn't let their body be found.
Yeah.
You know, like a civilian, somebody that wasn't supposed to get killed that did, or somebody's relative.
That's actually really smart.
Well, that's
why they're real successful criminals, and
that's why they check now.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. When they make those caskets, they check for false compartments and shit. Because the mafia in Italy, they'll bury you, right? But they'll put an empty casket in there, and it'll have nothing but guns and shit. Because like the way they do them over there, it's all mausoleums. You like walk in, and it's like a room and everything. You just pray and stuff. Well, these dudes were going in there, opening up the fucking graves and pulling out all these guns and going to do God knows what.
Shit.
And what are you gonna do if they find them? Can't arrest a dead person.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Anyways, so yeah, they bury these poor people in a false bottom, and then like you said, you get the thing, and then he goes to the man with the plan, and he's like, "Look, you know, this is my fault. This is on me." He's like, "You know, punish me. Don't do it to my guys." And he's like, "Jimmy," he's like, "We got history." He's like, "We're friends." It's like, "I'm gonna give you 48 hours to get the fuck out of Denver."
Yeah.
He goes, "But your friends? Oh, they're buckwheats. Yeah. They're all buckwheats." And you're kind of left like, what the fuck? And you see the look on his face. That's probably the best acting he's ever done. When they tell him buckwheats, like he just knows it's fucked. It's over, you know? And that's when the old man's in the shake shop and he breaks down what a buckwheat is. He goes, "You don't die quick. You die in the most terrible fucking way possible."
So I realized there was a fun fact on one of our earlier episodes is we were talking about like painful deaths or whatever. And you brought up, you're like, yeah, if you get shot in the ass, it's like one of the most painful deaths.
Up your ass.
Up your ass. Well, yeah, it's the same thing.
Well, no, I'm saying you get shot in the ass. I know a dude that got shot in his ass. He got an ass cheek shot, not shot up his asshole.
I see what you're saying.
And that's what they're talking about.
And I was like, that's a really weird thing to bring up, but okay, Nick, I'm glad you know that. And then I was watching this movie and I was like, fucking fun facts. You're going to take this from the movie.
Yeah, because it's a thing. It's a thing. A buckwheat, they take the gun and they shove it up your ass and shoot you, and it takes 20 minutes for the fucking bullet.
So this was a real thing. This really happened.
Yeah, where do you think they got this shit from?
I don't know. It's a movie. They can make shit up.
I mean, doesn't that sound like a real thing though? Like you would lay in the most agonizing pain of your fucking life waiting for this bullet to shred through your small intestines and to hit one of your vital organs and fucking finally bleed you out, kill you.
Apparently it takes like 15 to 20 minutes to...
He left old boy at a fucking dumpster, dog, and he couldn't do anything but just fucking shake and convulse. Like, I don't know. If it's not true, I'm not finding out. Like,
yeah, I was watching, I was listening to one review, like, he did a great review breaking down the movie, but he did have that one moment. He's like, yeah, so-and-so got shot in the gut. I'm like, no, they shot him up the ass. They literally said it earlier in the movie. But anyway.
So that's what a buckwheat is.
Yeah.
And that's what Andy Garcia doesn't want to happen to his friends.
Right.
So he starts trying to give them money to get the fuck out. Because like they make a joke about it at the beginning that he's got a boat fund, but he lives in fucking Denver. So like that's all the money he's got from his gangster days.
I was going to say boat drinks because it's a thing that they say throughout this movie. Let's go get our boat drinks.
Yep.
And I thought it was kind of stupid. It sounds dumb, but then when like you realize what it means, like, oh, okay, it like makes more sense. Boat drinks.
Right. Because I mean, guys that were in prison for that long, like, you gotta have something to hold on to keep you going.
Right. One day I'm gonna get my boat drink. You know,
we're gonna go out there. We're gonna hang off the coast somewhere. We're gonna get our boat drinks.
Yeah.
So, he keeps trying to give all these guys this money so they can run and hide and go under. And they're like, we all got buckwheats. And they're like, yeah. He's like, even you, Jimmy? And he's like, yeah, even me. And
well, he's not going to tell him like,
right?
No, he
gave me a pass.
Right.
Y'all are fucked.
They're going to make him
I know I brought you into this. Like you had nothing to do with it, but yeah, I got a pass.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but the first one, Pieces, is the first person he tries to give money to, and this is the one that I was like, I get it. He has leprosy. He's gonna die.
That was a great scene too with Christopher Lloyd because he like wanted to show him that like this is as good as it was gonna get. You know?
Yeah, and it's kind of the crux. His little speech is like the crux of this movie. about how you're about to die and you shouldn't just be looking at a ceiling waiting to die.
Well, it's
You
like
should-
he goes and puts the suit on.
Yeah.
He wants Andy to let him know that he's made peace with it. Like he's like, look, I'm dressed up how we used to. We did the things. He says that. I love that line. He says, we did the things, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Because he tells him the story about his neighbor dying of cancer, no family, never been married, no kids, no nothing,
Mhm.
And he's like, I thought about him laying in his bed,
Just looking up at the
just
ceiling.
looking up at the ceiling, waiting to die. He goes, and he probably thought, I was like, and you know what I thought, Jimmy? He's like, did he care that he never did nothing with his life?
Yeah.
He goes, we did the things, Jimmy. He goes, I was in a Paris nightclub with a $2,000 a night hooker doing the merengue. I've done this. I've done the things. He goes, the only thing I maybe regret is I could have been a better dad, or I could have been a better old man to my kids. He goes, but.
So let's say you go to the doctor and he says you have critical cancer and you have X amount of a very short time to live. What would be your thing?
It's a very thing, because as much as I would love to say fuck it and just go on my bucket list trip and
Mhm.
just like do all the crazy shit that I've wanted to do in my life.
Yeah.
I have kids, so it's like my responsibility as a man. Like, unfortunately, I would probably start figuring out a way to either mass produce drugs that I could sell a shit ton of, like Walter White before I died, or I would be working on a bank heist because I gotta leave my kids something.
I
You know what I'm
guess.
saying? Like, I don't want them to leave them with nothing.
You go full criminal.
Got to, bro. Like, I'm taking hits, $5K a pop. What's up?
I love it.
Who do you hate? Who do you hate?
You could be a hitman. God, a hitman for hire. That's so smart. I didn't even
If you
think
get
about
caught,
that
bro,
one.
fuck it.
It doesn't matter. You're gonna die
I'm
anyway.
Die in prison, bitch. What's
That's
up?
a good one. I like that. I was just gonna get blasted.
And that's what my first go-to would be too. But like I said, like when you have a family, it's.
I know.
But
I
his
would
kids were older, they were grown
yeah.
up, so it's like he didn't have that same feeling of responsibility to them.
Yeah.
He said I felt bad about it, but that's done.
I would like I said, I would just line up every drug and then just keep taking them until
I would love to go out in a blaze of glory like that, bro. But
just to experience everything and really like get to know myself.
yeah, unfortunately, man, it would eat me up. I probably wouldn't even get to enjoy it because I'd be worried about what was gonna happen to my kids.
Yeah, that
after
makes
I'm gone.
sense. Fortunately, I don't have that to worry about, so.
But yeah, man, if not, I'd be right there with you, lining them up, dude. But yeah, so
And then he
you know,
goes to
he
friend.
tries to give him some money to get away, but he's like, nah, man,
I'm not running.
I'm good, Jimmy.
Which that's a noble one. That's the one that I get. I'm like, I completely side with pieces
And I
on
think that
one.
that's why they didn't buckwheat him, because he didn't run. He just took it.
You think so?
Because he says it. He stands up because he hears something and he looks back and there's nothing. First of all, we can't skip over Mr. Shush's intro. Another badass fucking nickname in this movie.
Yeah, Shush.
I want to be called Par Mr. Shush from now on. Like Steve Buscemi, fucking great role. He's got 2 lines in this whole fucking movie and he kills it. Kills it.
Literally.
And the old man, another great intro in his narration. That's why I said it. I mean, I get some parts of the narration maybe weren't necessary, but
Yeah.
he fucking did a great
There
job
are
of
some
lining
time
up
like
certain things.
I don't mind this when he's narrating the people and explaining who the
Right.
people are. I don't mind him. When he's explaining the lingo, that's where I have the problem, and I could think you should take that out and let the lingo kind of speak for itself.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, shush.
He's like, he's the most feared killer on this side of the west of the Mississippi.
Yeah,
And he doesn't say 2 fucking words. He goes, you won't hear anything.
you won't hear more than 15 words out of this guy.
Hence the name Mr. Shush. And it shows him getting off the fucking train and he walks outside and these 4 dudes are just beating the shit out of this guy. And I guess he doesn't like that.
Yeah.
So he fucking tells them to fuck off pretty much. And they fucking try to stab him with a empty beer, with a broken beer bottle. And he fucking takes the dude's arm and shoves it into his fucking neck. Then the other one fucking takes a swing at him. He dodges that bitch like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Fucking pulls out something and fucking kills that guy. And then just looks at the other dude like, all right, man. Picks up his briefcase and walks away. Like,
I did my civil duty for the day.
right, now I'm going to go kill people for money.
Right.
I'm a contract killer with a heart of gold. So the first one he gets is pieces. And like I said, because he didn't run,
He shoots him in the heart.
he shoots him through his chest. He goes, the only good news is he was dead before he hit the floor. Which I thought that was really cool where, like, because he shoots him, he works at a porn theater. And as he falls into the projector, you hear the chick screaming, like, "Arr, arr," and then the film burns up.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was cool.
that was good editing. Yeah.
So then Franchise comes to see him, and he's like, "Look, man," he's like, "they just kill pieces." He's like, "I gotta get my family. I gotta get the fuck out of here."
Right. This is the moment where I was like, "You can get out. Just fucking go." But he doesn't. He hangs around.
He goes, but he doesn't go far enough.
Well, that's the thing. He could be.
But that's what I'm saying.
He's still kind of in the vicinity of. He should be in fucking Mexico. He should be in
right
the opposite side of wherever fucking Denver is.
And well, like I said, he didn't go far enough because Jimmy finds him and he tries to give him some money to help him like go, not just drive, bitch.
Right.
Get on a fucking plane and go.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, my wife says she won't let me take no more money from you. Like she won't let me fuck with you anymore. Like this is it, dog. Like I love you, but thanks for fucking nothing. Pretty much is what I gather from it.
Made me feel so bad. This is the one
Yeah.
where I like really felt bad.
And
Like
this
you
is
had a
what-
good thing going and I fucked your whole life up.
Yeah,
Like,
and then this is where Jimmy, like, where his character knows that he can't be redeemed now.
mhm.
And I think it adds a lot more to the third act because you see the switch in his character.
Yeah.
Like it's not anymore. Like there's no more survival, and now it's like fuck it.
It's all vengeance.
What can I do
Yeah.
to fuck this shit up as much as humanly possible?
100%. Yeah.
What can I make right, and what can I take with me?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. And it introduces the Vic Valancourt's character, like the
Yeah, well,
she's
earlier
she's a
in
young
the-
prostitute and she's
Right.
begging for money or whatever.
Yeah, earlier in the movie, he gives her money and he's like, "Why did you do that? She's going to go buy drugs." I'm like, "Yeah, but she's not going to be asking, she's not giving blowjobs for money. She's just going to go take this and do what she needs to do." He, like you said, I would rather take out the romance scene and really like flesh this one out because this one works better. He's really looking after her. He's like almost like a big brother, I guess. He really cares about her.
He knows what she is because, like I said, he comes up in New York, and there's probably a lot of girls that were like this.
Yeah,
And
he's just
you know
taking a
you
like
can't stop them, but you can at least
help them.
help them.
Yeah.
And that's what he's trying to do. Like
Right.
he knows he's not a good guy for it, but it's better than the alternative.
Yeah, because I do like this scene. He finally sees her on the street and she sees she's all roughed up. He's like, who the fuck did this to you? And she makes her take him to the fucking business, and he's like a big wig at this
He's an
company.
accountant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are the accountants?
Yeah.
And this lady's like, I'm over there, but I'm not supposed to tell you that. I'm like,
Right.
bitch, you did a terrible job. Like, then she calls security. But yeah, old boy goes in there and fucking chokes the shit out of him with his own tie.
Mm-hmm.
This guy likes to stick bottles in places that bottles don't fucking go. And he's just beating the shit out of him.
All right.
And then those guys get up, and that's what I said earlier. He's like, sit the fuck down. Sit the fuck down. There you go. I was just
This is
like,
where I see Al Pacino. These
Yeah,
scenes
yeah,
like
yeah.
this, I was like, that's an Al Pacino fucking scene.
he definitely picked up a couple things
Yes.
from Godfather 3. with him.
100%.
Um,
So
'cause-
yeah, they
yeah, Godfather 3 was what, 92, 93?
yeah, something like that.
So that was right after this.
Hmm.
But yeah, he beats the shit out of that guy, and then they take him out or whatever. But the
Right,
next
and they-
scene is they're at the malt shop.
Right. She's talking about being a masseuse, going back to school, being a masseuse, and getting her shit together. And like the only thing in the world she wants is to have a baby.
She wants to get. She's like, "Do you ever think about being a dad?" And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Nah, "I'd be a fucking terrible dad." Like, she's like, "Well, I think about being a mom a lot." And he's like, "Really? You think about being a mom?" Man, he's like, "You can't be doing all this crazy shit." And she's just like, "I would change. I would change for my baby." And
Some people do. Some people
You
get
know,
their shit
and-
together. There's stories I've heard from women that they hate that they're smokers, but as soon as they found out they were pregnant, they like gave up smoking.
Right.
I know it's like not comparable, but it is something.
My wife wasn't a chain smoker, but she'd smoke when we were like having a good time partying or whatever.
right.
And you're right. As soon as she found out she was pregnant with my son, cut it off.
Yep. Drop it like a bad habit.
Not another puff.
Hmm.
Um,
So yeah, she probably could have got her shit together if well,
right.
we find out later in the movie. But anyway,
Right. So she's like, "Hey, would you give me a kid?" And he's like, he asked Maltz. He's like, "Maltz, you think I should give her the seed?" And he's like, "You two having a baby would be the fucking Antichrist."
666 and all. So how old is she supposed to be in this movie?
Probably like 18, 19.
I heard somebody say she's supposed to be 15.
That's really fucking creepy.
Well, that's what they were saying. They're like, I think, or they said she was supposed to be portrayed as like a 15-year-old. That's why the last scene of the movie, or one of the last scenes in the movie, makes it more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get those vibes. I really thought she was like you said, 18, 19.
I just thought she was a younger girl that fallen into that
life,
whatever, you know.
So
I don't know why they have to make it any more fucking creepier, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's
we have the professional for that.
As much as it is, yeah, it's like just a fucked up, like I don't want to say it like to make it seem like we're glorifying.
Well, it was kind of a thing back then.
The gangster way of going out, dog. Like he knew that his time was up. So what's one more fuck you to the world? I'm gonna make sure my son knows who I am. And I'm gonna fucking have a baby with this fucking prostitute. Like, why not? Knock her up, send her on her way.
Yeah, like a Taxi Driver. You had a little girl in there, and then like the professional I just mentioned, you had a little girl in there. It was just a thing, but I didn't get those vibes from this one. I thought she was just a early 20s girl. But anyway,
so yeah, he.
But then he also Easy Wind. He puts him under surveillance and
he gets him. He gets these guys because these guys owe him money, and they're like this, like they're just a gang of like badass dudes, you know. And he's like, they fucking hate me, and he's like, yeah, but they owe me money, so like they're gonna take care of you. Like, don't worry about it. He goes, you'll be safe with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And you think maybe he's got a shot because these dudes they got an army with them, you know. Right. But
a lot of little cameos in this little part. I was like, holy shit, there's that. Holy shit,
Don Cheadle.
Yeah. And, always popping up.
Old boy from Speed. I can't remember his name, but he's in a bunch of stuff. And fucking Tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking Debo's in this movie too. So yeah, he's hiding out, and this is probably one of the coolest scenes with Mr. Shush.
Yeah, it made me think of True Romance.
He was just like, I'm looking for Earl Denton.
Yeah.
And he's like, who are you now, you saltine looking motherfucker? Like, the fuck out. And everything he says, Don Cheadle says it too. It's fucking hilarious. Fuck you, white boy. Yeah, fuck you, white boy.
yeah. Could you give me 11 seconds?
Could you shut the fuck up for 11 seconds? So he's like, look, just give me Earl Denton and there'll be no problems. The dude takes off his glasses. He's like, who the fuck are you talking to, man? And he fucking grabs him and he pulls the gun and he's like, just tell me where he's at. And nobody else has to get.
And they have to be an idiot and everyone pull out guns.
Well, he even said, shoot this motherfucker, man. And all of his people, all it took was one dude to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And my boy goes John Wick on their ass.
Yes.
Takes out the whole fucking crew.
Yeah. Speaking of, I was thinking about John Wick a lot during this movie. I felt like this is John Wick like 1.0.
The prequel.
The prequel, yeah. Kind of like where it's got its inspiration for its story from.
So then finally he's like, tell me where Earl Denton is. And
no, I think everyone's dead and Earl's just
Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle's alive.
Oh, okay.
But the other dude got shot when everybody was shooting at him. He kept using him as a shield.
Yeah.
So he had got shot like 3 or 4 times. And then it cuts to a scene of him playing dice with 2 kids. And fucking Easy Wins laying in that dumpster buckwheated, dude. Fucking
that was a sad scene because
just laying in like what looks
just
like
shaking.
The most terrible fucking pain you known to man.
Yeah.
And it
felt bad because like I don't know what Easy Win had going for him, but I feel like he kind of, maybe had his shit together too.
Right, and maybe not a family and everything, but he looked like he was working because when he first comes in, he's wearing like coveralls, like he's a mechanic or something.
Right,
he's probably working a shit-in job, but compared to being in fucking prison, it's probably like salvation to him.
Exactly, and
that's what you get. That like all of them had kind of not really gotten over their old lives, but they were at least happy with where they were.
Yeah.
But
I guess that's part of being a gangster is like just.
I'm only one good pep talk away from going back to the shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think that's the real power of Jimmy the Saint was like people just they'd go through a wall for him because Jimmy's going to take care of you. It's going to be all right. You know? So yeah, they kill Easy Win and there's nobody left.
Well, there's Bill, but
there's Critical Bill, and he's the only one he can't track down. But finally,
he finally tracks him down, and I love that Critical Bill is living in this state of like disarray. Like he has lost his mind. He is pissing and fucking
jugs,
gallon jugs, and you can, by Jimmy the Saint's reaction, you can almost smell that apartment.
Yeah. Like he's been shitting in buckets.
Right.
Yeah.
It smells so bad.
And he's like, you been getting any sleep, Bill? He's like, I've been up for 4 days. Keeps me sharp. He's like, why don't we go out and get something to eat before I fucking throw up in here, pretty much. It's like what he's trying to get at.
He's like, I got shit here. I got beans. I got corn.
All shit that's in cans because he planned on being there for a while. You know? Like, I make some beef stew. You want some beef stew, Jimmy?
Not at all.
No, I'm fucking good. And he's like, man, I just want to apologize, man, for losing my shit out there the other night.
But it is kind of your fault.
This is where you fucking know this guy is straight clinical.
Mm-hmm.
But come on, man. It's kind of your fault putting me out there. Fuck, everybody knows I'm off my fucking tits.
Right.
Says it just like that. Everybody knows I'm out of my tits. And that's when Jimmy was like, I don't care what happens to you now.
Yeah.
Here's your little fucking high five, bro. I'm out, dude.
Yeah.
Puts the money away. Doesn't even think about the money anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another great scene with Buscemi. It's his last scene, but it's fucking great.
It makes sense. Like, I'm
got
glad.
A very Fargo feel to it.
Right, 100%. I liked this scene because I'm glad it was Critical Bill, because he's unpredictable. He's crazy. You don't know what he's going to do.
Mm.
So it would make sense that he was the one that takes out
Shush.
Mr. Shush.
Yeah, he makes it look like he's laying in bed.
Mm-hmm.
And when Shush stabs the fucking blanket,
I love the theatrics.
He pulls the blanket back, and this motherfucker turns on spotlights. And he's fucking painted up like he's in the fucking jungle.
Right.
Double barrel shotgun to the fucking guts, dude. Yeah. I am Godzilla, and you are Japan. But Mr. Shush with his dying breath.
It's like, I'm gonna get my kill.
I said, I'm getting mine too.
Yeah.
You coming to hell with me. And I thought that was a great reaction. He just falls on top of him.
And they just die together.
Steve Buscemi, you almost see the relief in his eyes. He's just like, all right, now I can die.
Yeah.
I got this fucker. So, yeah.
It was a great scene, great kill, and it made sense.
So then and then it cuts back to the old man. He's like, what, you think because Shush died, this shit was over? He goes, not even fucking close.
Okay, so here's another point. Mr. Shush calls in backup. Does he do it before?
No. Not Shush. Man with the plan.
Oh, it was Man with the Plan.
His contracts. So he called in another.
So when he found out Mr. Shush died,
killed.
He called in somebody else.
He called in the
good.
three brothers.
For some reason, I thought it was Mr. Shush that called him.
Mm.
Like as backup kind of thing.
No. He goes, then the man with the plan reached out to the Menendez brothers or Malundos or some shit like that.
Yeah. Crazy.
From Albuquerque. And it's like these three fucking Indian dudes in a fucking Ford F-150 riding around with an artillery, son. And
it was very comic bookish.
So when Jimmy finds out that all of his people are dead now,
mm-hmm.
he goes back to the man with the plan because the man with the plan has a dirty cop, an Irish dude that was following around his love interest. And I really feel like this is the only reason they had to leave this bitch in the movie, because they had to make him go back for the third time.
Yeah.
And this is when you get the best scene from Walken. They probably could have cut the second one out because it's the same thing, really. Because when he goes back to him the second time, he's like, look, you got to let Franchise go. He's like, he's got a wife. He's got fucking kids.
Right.
Please let him go. And he's like,
oh, I do love the sign. He's like, he's like, I thought I had your word. He's like, I'm a criminal.
my word means fucking nothing.
Right.
Says it just like that.
But yes, this third scene is the moment where I had to pause the movie, get up, laugh my ass off, and scream it throughout the house. I did not care that my wife was here because it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, because it's like one of the most gangster, most disrespectful fucking things you could ever say to somebody.
Yes.
But yeah, anyway, so like the second one, he's just like, please let him go. And he's like, all right. He's like, but you fucking follow him, Jimmy. He goes, you're disrespecting me by still being here.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, go and follow him. Well, they fucking kill Franchise. Shush gets him. And you see the wife crying and everything. And just like Jimmy's like fucking over it now.
Right.
So he goes back and he's pretty much just going back to like, he beats the shit out of the Irish guy, the cop. He's like, why the fuck are you following my girl around? And then
she has nothing to do with this.
And he's like, what's big and tattooed and fucking cut up like a piece of provolone? And then that's when he finds Franchise dead.
Right.
Well,
So he takes him back to the man with the plan.
Beats the fucking shit out of him and takes him back. And he's like, "What'd you do to my Irishman? Like, what'd you do to him?" And he's like, "Leave the fucking girl alone." He's like, "Jim, I'll have the boys go out with a $3,000 rock, get 8 hard pipe." Pretty much hits him with the Pulp Fiction, bro.
Right.
8 fucking pipe head out crackheads, and they're gonna fuck the shit out of her. He goes, "And I'm gonna make you watch," or some shit like that.
Yeah. And you're gonna see everything before I kill you.
And he's like, "But I'll tell you what." He goes, "If you leave," he goes, "if you beg," he goes, "Go ahead and beg."
Yeah.
He's like, "I only fucking begging." So they fucking put him on his knees, and he's like, "You're gonna fucking beg, Jimmy."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "I'm not fucking begging." He's like, "Get him on his belly." So he's like, "I ain't fucking doing it." So they start just beating the fucking shit out of him even more. And he's like, "All right, Jimmy." He's like, "I'll make you a deal." He goes, "If you leave if you leave town tonight," he goes, "maybe I won't fucking kill her. Maybe I'll let you go." He goes, "But if you take her with you and I find you," he goes, and that's when he says all the shit about the crackheads and everything. He goes, "I'll do it all 10 minutes before I fucking kill you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to die knowing it." He goes, "But the worst part about it is, Jimmy, is you're never going to know. You're going to never know what I decided unless you take her." So it's pretty much telling him, like, you can either fucking leave or you can take her and fucking y'all both die.
Right.
So at that point, he's like pretty much telling him, like, this is how it is. And he's like, "Fuck you, you piece of shit." He's like, "Pull my fucking dead dick out." He goes, "Suck my fucking dead dick and beg for your fucking life." And the fucking Irish dude's like looking at him. He's like, "No, seriously, pull my fucking dick out.
Take my dick out. Take it out." I was dying laughing. That was the funniest shit I've ever seen in a movie.
It's like, bro, who threatens you, bro?
Right,
like,
who threatens you?
First of all, you're being threatened by a guy that can't fucking move. Dude.
Yes.
And then he tells you to pull his fucking dead dick out and suck it, bro. Like that's golf clap right there.
It is.
Bro.
It was so good. I loved it so much.
And that's why Walken is a fucking goat, bro, right there. So they fucking beat the shit out of him, and he's going back to the malt shop. And this is pretty much where he decides, like, you know what? I know I can't save myself. I can't do anything.
So he goes on straight vengeance.
He fucks the hooker, gives her the baby, gives her money, and tells her, "This is your bus ticket. Get the fuck out of here."
Right.
Then he pulls up, because there's a scene earlier in the movie where the mob boss's son, like, he's slow.
Yeah.
And he trusts Jimmy because Jimmy the Saint, he's a good guy or whatever. He doesn't understand all the shit that his dad is doing to him.
And shout out to this actor because he did a really good job at playing that, like, little mentally ill character.
He tells him, he's like, "Yeah, we should go bowling sometimes." He goes, "I go bowling all the time at this place and everything." So he shows up at this bowling alley and he's like, "Hey, you want to bowl again?" And he's
like, "No, I'll take you home."
He's like, "No, I'm going to take you home." And he's like, "Well, my dad's guys usually come get me. They're late like always." He goes, "Well, you know what? It's Jimmy." He's like, I get a ride from you." He's like, "They'll teach him about being late."
Mm-hmm.
So he pulls off into this alleyway. And you could tell he didn't really want to do it to the guy, but it was the only way he could hurt him.
Okay, I have thoughts about this. So he stabs him to kill him to get vengeance on the man with the plan. I get that. But the beginning of the movie, he tries to rape this girl who's young. She's probably like a preteen. Very, very young girl. So it almost makes he only did that to make so you don't feel bad that he kills him. You know what I mean? Like, well, he was a child molester, so I don't give a fuck that you kill him.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if it would have been more impactful if they wouldn't have had a scene like that in the movie and you actually did feel bad that he killed this kid. You know what I mean? Or this guy, rather.
It's still kind of tugged at me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not only as a kid, but as an adult. Yes, he was a fucking thing, but it's kind of like one of those things like, could he help it?
Yeah,
you know
I guess you're not wrong.
And he only did it because he knew that was the only way to hurt him. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I don't think Jimmy took any pleasure in doing that, but it was the only way he could get any kind of justice for his boys.
Well, yeah.
So he was just like, fuck
I mean, it's going to be done either way. I was just thinking about the whole, like, him being a child molester makes it a little bit easier for the audience to digest.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think that, like, Garcia did a great job of showing that, it, like, even though this guy fucking probably deserved it, like, he didn't deserve it, but whatever, like, it had to happen.
Yeah, he killed people that I love, so I got to kill
I'm gonna
somebody
kill
that
something
he
he
loves.
loves.
Right.
And
So I get why he does
when
it.
they find him, he rides back through and fucking tosses his hat
That was a good scene.
at the man with
Good
the plans.
shot, Bodyguard.
Yeah, so his boys, so that he knows it was me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did this. And the last scene of the movie is Andy Garcia rolls up to the malt shop to go in and get another malt.
Mm-hmm.
And the brothers are out there.
Yeah, I love that they cock the shotguns and he just straightens his tie. We're just waiting for it.
Gets himself all ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he made a video for his son.
Yeah.
Or his child, or whatever, just to and like I said, I thought it was a very fitting ending for his character. Like,
not mad at it.
I think this is why the movie I think is so good, because it's one of those movies that the good guy does not win. Nothing goes right. Nothing, and if we're going by movie formulas, nothing in this movie worked out the way it should have.
No, and that's what I said. I like this movie because as a whole, I really like the movie. I really like the idea, I like the message. I like what it's trying to say. And then it's just it fumbles the ball a little bit throughout the movie.
And then, like I said, I thought the cherry on top, and I really thought this was a great scene, was all of them were on the boat.
The boat drinks.
I like that scene, man.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of cheesy, but
it's kind of like a gangster's paradise. Like, these fucking guys, they finally got their drink. You know what I mean?
Fun fact, I don't know if you noticed, but
Pieces got all of his fingers.
Right.
Yeah.
They went back to their best moments of their life when they were at their best.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I thought it's a cheesy scene, but it was a nice scene, so I can forgive it because it's kind of a cheesy movie anyway. But and then that shows Christopher Walken alone. He has nothing left.
Right.
Just left to die, miserable.
He's the last one alive. He's the last one standing. Well, not even last one sitting. But yeah, I still like watching it. Like I said, it had been years, and like I said, it's not a perfect movie, but I still loved it immensely.
If I would have watched this back when I was in my gangster phase, back when I was 19, around that age, I would probably still love this movie. I would probably still be watching it every year just because of I just have that special thing with it. But I'm older and I've seen so many movies, so I can point out the flaws easily. So it's not my new favorite film, but I did enjoy it. There's a lot of things to really like about this movie. Like I said, that writer can write the fuck out of a character. I love the characters in this movie. I love the slang. I love dialogue in this movie.
This movie kind of reminds me of Empire. I love how Empire set up so much the first half of that movie. And then the second half, I felt like it really just changed direction. You know what I mean? But this one, it was kind of flip-flop. I love the beginning.
The beginning is good. The middle is weird. And then the ending's really good.
But in Empire, it was opposite. It was the front part, mwah, second part, third part, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This movie just literally turned into a fucking Wall Street movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was really weird, but
if they would have just stayed in the gang war shit, in the product and everything, that'd probably be one of my favorite gangster movies of all time.
Right.
But I still love it enough. But I love this one more.
This is a good one. I understand why it's a cult classic, 100%.
I will
probably buy this and rewatch it at some point.
Good luck. Because it took me fucking years to find this bitch in the wild.
Did you find it in the wild?
This is where I found it, bro.
They never made a re-release. It only has DVDs.
I know.
Copies.
I didn't even know it was that rare, but it makes sense because I've never seen it.
If you see another one, you grab me a copy.
I would, bro. I would. But yeah, man. This was one of my grails. This was up there with Return to Oz.
Yeah.
Trying to find that in the wild.
You know how you have your top tier gangster movies, gold standard gangster movies, and then the tier below it, it's they're not as good, but they're really enjoyable. I would put this there.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because of the stuff that I really even I said, there was little things I had forgotten because it had been a couple of years since I'd seen it, but Walken still keeps it up.
Oh yeah, well he's GOAT.
Christopher Lloyd keeps it up. William Forsythe. Every character in this movie, dude. Even Maltz. I love the characters in this movie.
Yep.
I could watch I would love to revisit this world. Obviously, it would be a little hard, yada yada, but maybe some kind of prequel. See Jimmy back in his glory.
Well, that's what I wrote in my notes. I was I would have loved to get a backstory on Jimmy to know what he was about.
Watch the Jimmy the Saint movie.
That's right. Because that's what it made me think of John Wick. It's kind of the same a little loosely.
These guys are all like coming in with this reputation, but we didn't see how they got this reputation.
Exactly. But in John Wick, they have like the talking about what made him so
ruthless.
Exactly. I wish they would have thrown a little bit. They kind of did. They were talking about Jimmy always takes care of his people. That's why he's called Jimmy the Saint, you know, whatever. But anyway.
No, they said he went to, I forgot what it was, some kind of like church, like he said that he went to the something or another, but he lost his way, like, which means like he was going to be a priest.
Oh,
but
right.
Because he became a gangster, he lost his way. Like, I thought it was really cool how the old man broke it down.
Yeah.
This is a commissary school or some shit like that. I forget, but yeah, I still get this movie at a solid 8.6. Like, I like it that much. It didn't. The romance didn't bother me as much until now that I'm thinking back on it. But like, you're right. Like, it is almost like, why the fuck was this in here?
Yeah.
But even with that, you know,
you can ignore it. It's so little that you can ignore it. Like, oh, here's that scene. Just look away for a few seconds and then get back to the fucking movie.
And seeing Walking like this, it makes me want to watch King of New York again, bro. Like, even though that movie is fucking chopped up as a motherfucker and doesn't flow well at all. Like, he's just so fucking good in it, dude.
Right.
Like, his lines, bro, the way he drops those lines is just so fucking cold.
I know.
Bro.
We need some more Christopher Walken in our life.
I'm thinking about doing Suicide Kings. Have you ever seen that one?
I think I watched it once, so way back, but I don't remember.
As I say, that's like the trifecta. Like, if you're looking at, like, if you like Walken's gangster shit, that's like his third one. Yeah. Where he plays kind of like a mob boss.
Right.
I might do that one day. That one's kind of a trippy one. You'd probably like that.
Probably. I'm sure I would. I always love everything Christopher Walken does.
Kind of like a mind bender. You know who does a good job in that fucking movie is Dennis Leary.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he plays Christopher Walken's like right hand. Pretty cool. Yeah, I might pick that one day.
Yeah. Well, I gave this one like a soft gangster recommend. Like, it's not the greatest gangster movie, but you're not going to have a bad time watching it at all. Right. If you can just like let go of the little flaws it has. And they're not even glaring flaws. They're just like little annoyances, but somebody said something. It's
got 90s flaws. If that makes any sense. Like, it's very much of that time.
Right.
Like, the things you hate about those kind of movies, that's from years of watching so many times of it.
Yeah, a good the guy that I was listening to about the reviews, he's like, the first time I saw this movie, I hated it and I couldn't stop talking about the flaws. He's like, then my buddy spoke up. He's like, I get you. I don't disagree with any of what you're saying, but I still like it. And that's what this movie is. Right. Like, I recognize its flaws. I still like it.
Yeah.
But
it's got great characters in it, man.
Yeah. It really and it has some great scenes in it too and everything. I love the overarching story and the writing and, you know. But, right. So I told you I was going to mix up the pick arrangement a little bit. So you're going to get 2 picks in a row.
I'm going to get 2 picks in a row?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I picked your second movie.
You picked my second movie.
You kind of picked it, but I'm just like, you know, reinforcing it. Okay. Because, not next week, because that'll be your second pick. The week after is going to be Cocaine Bear.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't want Cocaine Bear to fall on a week that you had to pick.
Right.
So I figured I would let you have 2 picks in a row, and then I can do my Cocaine Bear.
Okay.
So you kind of picked it last week.
Is Cocaine Bear even out yet?
It's going to be out by then.
Okay.
Because I double checked.
All right.
Because me and the wife were looking up what we should watch on our days, because we're taking a vacation that week. And I was like, we should go to the movies. She's like, only thing coming out is Cocaine Bear. I'm like, well, I know what me and Nick are doing. So, do you remember what you said last week?
I feel like I do, but I don't. Oh, yes.
So,
yes.
It's Death Sentence. You've been talking about this for a while. Yes. So, it's technically your pick, but it's, you know.
I started watching Community, just to let you know. I don't know if you remember we talked about that.
You didn't say that.
I did. I'm almost on season 3.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You must like it.
I do. But
Community is great.
I feel the hate for Chevy Chase on that show.
Yeah.
Like, they have a hard time turning it on with the cameras off. Or with the cameras on.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They have a hard time, like, you know. Does he make it all the way to the end, or do they, like, fire him?
Oh, they have to fire him, yeah. Because him and...
Donald Glover?
Not Donald Glover, the writer.
Dan Harmon?
Yes. Yeah. They had a falling out.
I did hear Dan Harmon fucking hated him.
But Chevy Chase left this voicemail. You can look it up online, like the Chevy Chase Dan Harmon voicemail, and he just lays into him saying like, "You don't know what real comedy is. You're not funny." Da, 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 da. So they ended up just firing him.
Damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's pretty funny. It's stupid as shit.
Oh, it's dumb as fuck. My Abed and
him. They're great.
I love them. They're my favorite part of that whole movie.
You know who I realized that
Troy and Abed in the morning.
Yeah, you know who I realized I didn't enjoy as much until then was Joe McHale.
Yeah.
Like his fucking asshole sarcasm is perfect for that. Like, I love him in Ted as the fucking asshole boss, but like that was just like, we need more of that. We need more of that Joe McHale. We need the soup. We need the soup back, man.
The only problem with the show is the characters do get a little too cartoony.
Yeah.
Like they lean into it a little too hard. Yeah. I think you're in the good part where it's like it's still funny, but it's not too outrageous.
Dude, you see so much of their references from Rick and Morty that they make like off of this show.
Yes.
Like a lot of the shit they do in Rick and Morty is from the show. Like the fucking I forget what the fuck his name is. It's like Magnitude or some shit, but he's like pop, and they're all like, oh, that guy. Like they do that all the time in Rick and Morty, and I'm just like, wow, this is really where they got. This is like their breeding grounds for Rick and Morty right here.
100%. He's a great writer. He even has his own like story writing technique. Like
somebody told me they kicked Justin Roiland off of Rick and Morty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Adult Swim fired him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I'm like, how is that gonna work? Because he does all the voices?
Yeah, I don't know. They may just
Dan
cancel
Harmon
that.
could write the fuck out of anything, but it's kind of hard to do it without the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done enough episodes. They might be able to generate it or something, but they're going to have to pay him regardless. But yeah, I heard that like he's just like unworkable with now.
I haven't heard that, but I'll have to look into it.
I hope it's not true because I would love to keep watching Rick and Morty. I love it.
Yeah, but I think Rick and Morty has kind of like had its run. Like, it's one of those things. Like, that's the weird thing about cartoons is they can keep going until they're just not funny anymore. It's like I think Rick and Morty has kind of had their highlights, and it's like you can kind of let it die off now.
Think so?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Still watch Family Guy.
Do you?
I do.
You're the only one.
Obviously not, bitch. They're still on TV.
The only one that I can say that's still funny to this day is South Park.
See, I stopped watching South Park years ago.
Yeah,
bro.
but it's still fucking hilarious.
I'm sure it is, but those guys have always like, you know, like that's what they do is make fun of people. You know what I mean? Like
they're really good at pop culture and what's going on in the world.
I don't know. I mean, I think they all have something that's. I mean, they wouldn't be around for 20 plus years if they didn't do something right.
Right.
Same thing with The Simpsons. Like, it's just hard to.
Simpsons is not good.
You can't top The Simpsons though, bro. They've
Like,
done everything.
They even predicted the future.
Exactly, bro. Like the Simpsons aren't going anywhere.
We can't kill the Simpsons, but they definitely are not good anymore.
Matt Groening would already seen it and rewrote it.
Right.
But yeah, I am excited about Death Sentence. That's going to be badass.
Right.
Like, I haven't watched this in a minute.
But real quick, so the wife bought me a movie because I've been like wanting to watch it. We never got around to doing it, so I guess she just decided to buy me the Blu-ray, which I appreciate. But it's The Lobster.
I heard about it, never seen it.
Colin Farrell.
I
It's a comedy.
Is it?
Yes.
I thought it was like a movie, like a serious movie.
It's both.
John C. Reilly's in it?
Yes. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna screen it to see if it's something that it's
talkable.
Would be, if it's worth talking about on this podcast. So we'll see. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the wife. Thank you for she supports my habit.
I love that. It makes me think of that bit from Ted. I know you're in there. You owe me lobster money. That's my buddy John, not the lobster, the guy running it.
But yeah, Death Sentence. I'm excited to watch it. Like, I've been wanting to rewatch it, and you bring it up all the time. So fucking excited for that.
Go with God. Bag full of guns.
Until then.
Later, y'all.
Later.